being tasked to enter the technology industry. What did computing look like then to you? And is it something that once it infected you, you stuck with it because of that, or it's more you've a better understanding as a result of your time at Apple?
Well, I wasn't recruited to Apple because I knew anything about building computers. Steve Jobs was intended to be my partner, and he was going to build the computers. He focused on Macintosh. My focus was on the Apple II, which was aging, outsold 2-to-1 by Commodore, Atari, outsold by Radio Shack, TRS-80, outsold by IBM PC. Only source of Apple's cash for at least the next 3 years while Steve was building the Macintosh. So I didn't need to know anything about building computers to help strengthen the sales and profitability of the Apple II. It was purely about marketing. And then Steve wanted me to help him and the team learn about what we call in the Cola Wars experience marketing, which is what we developed with Pepsi Challenge. And so when we launched the Macintosh, we did it with advertising that no one in the world had ever seen before, especially in high tech, with our 1984 commercial. And if you look at Apple today, it still follows many of those same principles of what Steve used to call insanely great products and advertising.
And just one of the things that slipped through when you were talking about the 1984 ad and eventually it broadcasting was, how did you in the end convince the board to actually do it? Because you mentioned they were horrified.
I'm not sure we ever convinced them. We were instructed to go sell the time that we bought for $1 million for the Super Bowl ad to run. Nobody wanted to buy it, so by default, we ended up running a commercial. I think Apple has a lot of opportunity ahead to increase the value of its company. I think it's brilliantly run. I think that they will continue to be an innovator. Remember, they aren't first to market. They aren't really a technology company in the way some other companies are, but they're a beautiful design company. And they understand how to build platforms on top of platforms. So yes, they have what's called continuity, which connects all of the Apple products together, but now they're building vertical platforms for health and connected cars and connected home. And so they're doing things which makes it extremely hard for Samsung to follow. So Samsung made a lot of noise a few years ago about building a Silicon Valley campus, and they were going to develop software. Well, there's not a lot to show for it yet. And my sense is that you'll probably see more of what's happening where Samsung becomes a vendor to Apple. And they're actually investing something like $15 billion in new fab capabilities. Samsung's an incredibly talented hardware company. And I suspect you'll see them become more and more of a partner with Apple as opposed to just a competitor. It doesn't mean they won't still sell competitively against each other. It's called frenemies. The thing about the high-tech industry is you have to constantly readapt. And the companies that cannot adapt to the changes, even the biggest, most successful ones, either end up like Kodak or they adapt.
Do you think Microsoft faces dangers? I mean, Microsoft missed the start of the mobile.
I'm fascinated by Microsoft now because Microsoft missed one of the biggest opportunities ever by missing mobile. Even though they built a very, very respectful business with their business software. So it's not like they weren't successful. They just missed the biggest change in the world, which was the mobile phone. Well, now they seem to have incredibly enlightened leadership. And it's really impressive to watch their new CEO and how quickly he's been able to shift the whole mindset of that corporation to suddenly opening up and making decisions that would have been impossible previously. So I have a lot of hope that Microsoft actually is going to get back in the game in a major way across a whole bunch of different things. So everyone's waiting to see Windows 10. because it's going to be available on many, many different devices. Microsoft's actually picking up sales with their mobile devices in some markets. So we'll just have to watch and see, but I wouldn't count Microsoft out of the game. My generation needs to pass on to the next generation the lessons we've learned. And the first perspective is that you only learn from your mistakes. You don't learn from your successes. So we want to give the next generation courage to understand that it's okay to make mistakes. And that you have to be careful about becoming a victim of your successes. And so if you're an entrepreneur, you're always taking risks. And so how do you deal with that? And the primary message in my book is that there's this market power shift that social media is a big part of, and it's giving customers the power to listen to the opinions of other customers, and it's far more powerful than anything we've ever seen in marketing before. And what it means for entrepreneurs is that you have a chance to dream bigger dreams and to turn them into reality far faster and for far less investment than was even conceivable a few years ago. And there are insights here that are not taught in business school. Business school is focused on teaching you how to be an executive in a large organization and make a lot of money. Now, I don't know whether you'll always make money as an entrepreneur, and you'll probably work really hard and you'll make some mistakes and you'll have to pivot a few times in your life. But there are things that, it's not just me who's speaking in this book. It's the voice of many of my friends who are entrepreneurs, who have built companies. And what did we learn? And particularly from our mistakes. And it's all about customers. The one big insight is never compromise on exceptional customer experience. Always solve a big customer problem. You know, the customer plan is far more important than the business plan. The business plan is about the company. The customer plan is about the person that you're trying to make a loyal member of your ecosystem. And that's the insight. And that's the best way to deal with the risks that entrepreneurs are always going to be faced with.